God's sovereignty. Not simply just setting goals can help us. Now, if we set goals, we got to trust God to fulfill it. That's why the goals that you set need to have a time frame to it. They need to have a process to it. They need to be able to move in succession. You can't jump from $50,000 to $1 billion. There's a process that you have to go through. If you're trying to save money, you don't get to $10,000 in one day unless you are rich or wealthy. But if you're not wealthy and you're only living off so much money too, $500, and it takes time to get to that. It is the same thing when you're setting goals and you set your vision. You need to know that it's just time to do it now. Tell yourself, do it now. Don't be waiting for it. Just do it now, because your purpose is yet up for the Lord. And here's the next thing. You must have flexibility and adaptability. That means you have to be flexible. What you did 2 years ago won't be the same. What you did 15 years ago is not going to work now. If you look back 20 years ago or 30 years ago, there wasn't a phone. There wasn't a cell phone. There wasn't YouTube. There wasn't the things that we have now. So things now in this time are being done differently. And what I'm saying to you, that you have to be flexible and have adaptability within yourself. That means without set goals, we may be more open to changes and unexpected opportunities. That means when you set something, that's the only thing that you're going to work toward. If you're working to be a musician, then your focus is music. It's going to be that. It's going to be what you're working toward. And what I'm saying is that doesn't mean you go out there and be a lawnmower person. Now, I'm saying that what you're working toward is what's building you. You must have flexibility and adaptability. Here's the next thing. Reduce stress and anxiety. Not setting goals can reduce stress and anxiety, as we're not burdened by specific expectations or deadlines. Reduce stress and anxiety when you're working towards it. I'm saying that your gift must make room for you, but if you never spend time working on it effectively, you can't move to where you're trying to go. Here's the next thing. Lack of direction and purpose. If there's no direction, the people will perish. If there's no way of getting to where you need to go, if there's lack of direction and purpose, you will not. Without goals, you may lack direction and purpose. Set a goal for yourself. If you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to buy a home, set goals for yourself and benchmark so that growth can happen. Here's the next thing. Not setting goals can lead to missed opportunities, as we may not be prepared or focus on achieving specific objectives, which means that there may be some missed opportunities. There may be some opportunities that we will miss because we're not effectively trying to do what we are trying to do. We are just amassing ourselves and living day by day. But you must have a way of getting things done. The next thing is this: stagnation and complacency. That means stagnation means you're sitting still and you're not progressing. You're just there. You're being lazy. Without goals, we may become complacent and stagnant. Watch this. Failing to grow or improve. Let me explain to you that you must lead. Leaders are readers. That means you must always be reading something. You must always be listening to something. Turn Netflix off and turn the educational video or read a book before you go to sleep. You must constantly drill your mind on the things, because if you sit stagnant and wait on things to come to you, then you can't grow. There's an app that I use. It's called Headway. And what it is, they're taking books and they've broken them down into principles of the book. And it takes only about 15 minutes to listen to it. And it just breaks down the book. So there are books on that I've read before. It helps me to refresh myself on the things that I've learned and the principles that the author was trying to portray in this book. Because I'm always feeding things to my mind in order to grow. We have to make sure that we are growing and doing what we need to do, but we can't do it if we don't set goals, if we don't activate the goals that we have set, if we're not using those goals that we've set that we're going to do. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to create more income. I'm going to save 10% of my income. I'm going to give more. I'm going to help more. Whatever your goals are should supersede what you have placed, because if you don't, you'll just be moving aimlessly. Three things that you have to understand: that God was speaking with his sovereignty and his providence. He was saying this, that you must have planning, you must have preparation, and there must be diligence. Planning, you gotta plan how to do it. You maybe can do one aspect of your vision on Monday and the next aspect on Tuesday, but you have to make sure that you're working in an effective manner so that you can grow. I'm reading a book now called 10X is Better Than 2X. And this book is absolutely changing my life on what it means that they say if you stay stuck in 2X, then you won't get the 10X in your life. And how you 10X your life is focusing on those things, the 20% that is important, the 20% that can grow your life. What am I saying to you is that there must be planning, there must be preparation, and there must be diligence, which simply means a balanced approach to goal setting can help us align our plans with God's purpose. There's one thing about Habakkuk that you probably didn't know. Habakkuk was asking God. He was actually asking God a question. What the reason why that he got the portrayal of write the vision and make it plain. Most of the time we spend time focusing on, well, why did Habakkuk do this? And why did he say this? And most of the time we apply it to our lives and to various areas, to the church growth. But he was literally trying to asking God a question. God, you got to let the Babylonians take us out. God, why are you doing it to the children of Israel? He was asking God these questions. He was asking, God told him. And if you notice in the first verse, we always go to the second. But in the first verse, he began to pray and talk to God. That first verse explains that he's praying and talking to God. Look at what it says. I will stand upon my watch and set upon the Lord, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I'm reproved. Do you see that in there? He says, I'm standing upon a rock. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for God to speak to me. I'm waiting for God to tell me what to do, so God can let me know my